Bob has influenced the lives of thousands by training and advocating for the use of solution-focused therapy in micro and macro practice. He's a cornerstone of this school and an inspiration to all that know him. Here are some words from his supervisors, friends, and students.
You know, there was a movie made about him. It's called What About Bob? Some of you may have seen it, about this guy who was, well, crazy, and he was being treated by a psychiatrist, and he even was so crazy he followed the psychiatrist wait a minute, I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm sorry, the wrong Bob. But forget about that, that was the wrong Bob.
He was an important hire for us at the time. We had a program that was struggling, and he virtually single-handedly turned it around. He brought immediate competence and experience and knowledge to the program, and he was valuable to me as a chair because then he became not only the anchor of the program, but a magnet where I could attract other high-quality faculty.
I've known Bob for a really long time. I first met him when I was in my early 30s, and I had just gotten my first job at NC State, and I joined a committee for NASW North Carolina. I show up, and the first person I meet is Bob, and I thought, this is going to be a fun committee. So he made a really big impression on me, and I remembered him. And so years later, this random email came out of the blue, and it was Bob Blundo, and he was like, hey, have you ever thought about coming to Wilmington and maybe being our director? And I thought, no, I hadn't really thought about that. I remembered Bob fondly, and I remembered his energy and his passion and his commitment, and I thought, this could be kind of interesting. And that's how I got to Wilmington. So y'all have Bob to blame. And Bob, you have yourself to blame, man.
Bob, you know we love you. You allowed for me to meet my wife here at graduate school. I owe you that forever. Take care, enjoy yourself.
Supervising Bob is never dull. I think Bob actually retired because he thought I could be the one to drive him more crazy than he drove anyone else.
Bob, I love your passion, and I love how you were not afraid to say it's bullshit when people don't care.
Hey Bob, just want to say I love you. I know now that I'm not your only kiddo, but I'm
Kid. You know, he's a little older than me, but you know, we're both kind of older now. He still calls me kid. I love that.
I'm proud to be called one of your kiddos, and we're gonna miss you, and I love you.
My favorite stories about Bob was, this has to do with this picture that he had in his office, and it's a picture of Insoo Kim Berg, who's one of the founders of the Solution Focused Model. And I'll never forget several students coming to me and talking about Bob's wife, and I was like, well, wait, Bob's wife? And they were like, yes, the picture of the Asian woman located in his office.
I had some of my hardest laughs in grad school in your class. I know we all did. That laughing yoga exercise that we did, like class 2, that was a little too soon for me. I was not ready for that.
I think one of the most memorable things you said was how people who are depressed can see through the bullshit, and to just be there with them and be present and to be yourself and be genuine. So I'm gonna miss you. You're great.
So this is where we're gonna find you when you retire, huh? Right. Everybody, O2 Fitness in Hanover. If you want to see Bob, that's where you'll find him.
I've been here for about 6 months or so. I was all stressed out about something, I don't remember. And I went into your office to ask you about it, and you sat me down in your office, and you closed the door, and you said, take a look around, look at all the books in my office, and you got a lot of books in your office, and pick the oldest book that you can find. So I looked around, and I found this old, kind of dusty book at the bottom of a shelf somewhere. And you said, okay, open it. And so I opened it up, and you said, when was it published? And I said, 1918. And then you said, who's it by? And I don't remember who it was by, but let's say it was, you know, Adam Smith. And now it's like 120 years later, and nobody knows who the heck this person is. Then you sat me down, and you goes, look, it doesn't matter. You said, don't stress, don't worry about the past, only focus on the present, don't worry about the future. And there isn't a past, the future you can only wonder about, but what you got is the present. And that stuck with me for a long, long time. But thank you very much for everything that you've done. Man, I'm gonna miss you. Oh my God, I came here because of you. We did some good work here.
Like this kind of superhero defender of people's right to self-determination and to not be judged and labeled and diagnosed. And I know you're that way because you care so much about people and you have so much respect for people.
Hi Bob, I've known you since 2001 and I have to say it's been an awesome experience, the journey that we've taken. I too am a clutter person. I like to work in clutter, but I could not come close to how your office was cluttered. I mean, the piles of books, the piles of paper, and the fact that you were so productive in the midst of all that. I've tried to do that too, but I couldn't possibly. I've been productive, but not in that midst of insanity around you, the piles and piles of things. I wish to aspire to that.
Bob is such a driving force. He is a force. There's no question about that.
Okay, I'm not good at impressions, but you got to picture Bob coming up the hallway, seeing me, saying, "Hey kiddo," and then I will say something that will somehow irritate him, and then he'll be like, "I don't want to deal with this shit. This is all bullshit. I've had it. Fuck it," and then walk away.
The office is not going to be the same without you, and I don't mean only the candy bowl. Enjoy your retirement, General.
And I remember when you introduced us to the strengths-based model, and that perspective was such a gift and has been a gift to thousands of professionals in this community, and I am grateful for you.
One of the things that I always enjoyed about working with Bob is that he was always smiling and always laughing, and I could get him to laugh at my goofy jokes. And I love his deep-throated, hearty, laughing.
Bob is the main reason that I applied to UNCW. I was familiar with his work and I was familiar with the great things that he's done in the field of solution-focused practice, and that's what primarily drew me to UNCW. I'll never forget sitting in his Subaru Outback during my campus visit and him saying to me, "Kiddo, we got to figure out a way to get you here." And I'm sure glad I came, because coming to UNCW was one of the best decisions I've ever made. Bob, I really appreciate everything you've done for me. I appreciate you taking me under your wing, and I wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors.
I've often said to people that you are a one-man social work school, encompassing everything that social work has to offer and everything that is good about it.
You'll always be a legend in my mind.
You have been and continue to be an amazing gift to this world. And I am grateful to you, and I know your students are grateful to you.
I think the school owes him an enormous debt. We are the school we are more because of Bob Blundo than any other individual.
Hi, this is Peter DeYoung from Michigan. Bob, I understand that you're retiring, and I want to congratulate you on that. I certainly do appreciate all your contributions to solution-focused practice. I've always appreciated your writing, especially the writing that focused on integrating solution-focused practice and the strengths perspective. So you really leave a wonderful legacy for your university.
Happy retirement, Bob!
His students who are out now in the world with his knowledge and direction and doing a lot of good with a lot of clients. So he deserves a great retirement, and I wish him the best.
We love you, Bob!
Anything to say for the camera?
No, I'm getting pooped. That's why I'm getting tired.
Hey, love you, Bob.
Love you.